And hello everyone, this is David, and today I'm going to be bringing you a review of the new Carenado Aero Commander 690B, or Turbo Commander I guess is what it's really called. This airplane released I believe yesterday, and I've been flying it a little bit, and I am extremely impressed with it. The Turbine Commander has always kind of been one of my favorite airplanes. The Aero Commander series really is just kind of one of my favorite twins. I like just the look of it. I think is just a cool looking airplane. It was kind of one of the first airplanes that really flew a lot in flight sim back in the days of FS2000. If any of you guys remember the add-on by Abacus Corporate Pilot, it featured a Turbine Commander, and this just kind of brings back a lot of those early day memories of a kid just fooling around flight sim, kind of learning all different stuff. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and start on the outside here, and as you can see, the modeling is just beautiful. 3D model looks great. Right now I've got the static elements turned on, and they look really nice as well. Very nicely detailed, good bump mapping. The texture work is typical Carenado. Absolutely looks great. They've shown a semi-worn airplane, not worn out, but just well used. But overall very clean. When you zoom in here, you can see a little bit of dirt around the engines and the nice polished bits there on both the exhaust stack and the prop and the engine inlet. One thing they did not do is incorporate dynamic lighting into this, so it doesn't, if you turn it on, it doesn't do anything for those parts, which would have been kind of nice. But I do understand there are, I guess, some performance issues that some add-on devs are running into. I know PMDG said they are as well, but I haven't really noticed a major drop with the dynamic lighting with the A2A Connie, so I don't know if A2A is just doing something differently. But even though without that, it still looks very nice. The Aero Commander, the Turbo Commander, is definitely the next step up from the Shrike. So if you like the Shrike, you like how it flies, but you're kind of bored with the speed and the capabilities, this is definitely the next step up, and definitely worthwhile investment. So let's go ahead and hop inside the airplane here. And the VC looks absolutely great. I got the sticks turned off here, but they feature kind of a dynamic reflection sort of thing. You can see there as you turn the yoke, it's not just like an image anymore. It actually shows a reflection of what's going on around it in the cabin, which is pretty neat. And we can come back here, and the interior looks really nice. They have the typical animations of the tray tables here, and you can see there as we pan through the airplane, you can see that the reflection on the glossy part actually changes there. It's the same back on this panel here, you can see it, and also on these little metal trim pieces as well. The leather is actually bump mapped, and you can see that there as we walk past it. The door animation is also really nice, and you can also, with this airplane, open and close the door from avatar mode, which is pretty neat. And as you move about, you can see what I was talking about earlier, the reflection on the metal strip change there and move. Looks really nice. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and hop up into the cockpit here. Very nice, like 3D seatbelts, not just a 2D image. Looks really great. Just for time's sake, what I'm going to do is not a Control E startup, but I'm going to do use this. Just go ahead and get the airplane started up for us. get started. started up. I'm going to shut off the sounds and kind of talk a little bit about the VC. What I'm running here is the GNS 530 by Flight 1. It's not a direct integration, but it is really easy to get it integrated. The airplane supports both RXP 530 and GTN 750 integration, but what I did is if you have the Flight 1 GNS 530, you can install the files necessary for the RXP 530, and then in your Flight 1 configuration for the GNS 530, you can replace the RXP 530 with the GSN 530 from Flight 1, and it works great. All the buttons work. Everything seems good on that. To me, the cockpit of this airplane is just really cool. You kind of, it's like the ultimate corporate airplane. You got the look of kind of airliner cockpit, all the switches up here. Just really a neat cockpit, neat yokes. Just kind of a neat airplane. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and taxi out here. Oh, I want to show you guys one more thing. The wipers on this are kind of cool because you can do fast or slow or whatever. And so I'm going to try to get the stop somewhere besides. Like so right there. If you flip it down one more, it'll put it in park mode. And so as you can see, that one wasn't flipped down. I put it in park mode. Just little things like that just kind of make it pretty cool. Little details. Alright. The sounds on the airplane are also very nice. And in case anybody is wondering, I am at Yellowstone Airport by Orbix. Very nice airport. It's a little bit older of an add-on, but it still looks really good. Nice reflections on the gauges there. And has a very nice 3D element to the sound as well. Moving back around there. Have to forgive my really horrible taxiing. I only have one working toe brake on my SciTech combat pedals, so you'll have to forgive me for my really horrible taxiing skills today. So, because I actually have both brakes through FSUPIC wired up to just one pedal, and they're extremely sensitive. Performance-wise, I'm getting really good frames. I haven't noticed, at least at this airport, any stutters, major frame drops. I was getting some frame droppage, or not frame droppage, but stutters at S93 earlier, but I think that had to do more with the airport than the airplane. I mean, this is a relatively complex airplane, so you are going to get some, stutters on a lower-end system. But overall performance is really good. I do have the Avidyne unit turned off just because those do tend to use up a fair bit of system resources. I know a lot of you are probably wondering why I'm not using Prepared 3D version 4. I actually already own it, have it installed. It's not that I dislike it, it's just that a lot of add-ons aren't available for it, and I'm just going to wait until basically the whole Orbix catalog is over there. PMDG stuff, basically everything's there, and just kind of move all at once instead of piece by piece, because otherwise I'll forget what sceneries I have installed, and I'll fly into an airport and be like, wait, this looks like the default, and it just won't be as good. So, but I have tried it, I do like it. Definitely the 64-bit I think is going to be a major improvement for our hobby, and it's just gonna, you know, kind of take us into the 21st century versus what we were at before, you know, with limitations on texture sizes without having to OOM. But I do have to say, hats off to our developers, because they've been able to build beautiful airports and airplanes like these with the 32-bit limitations, with amazing texture quality and all that. So hats off to those guys, definitely, for figuring out ways around the issues. Alright. Shadowing just looks absolutely gorgeous in the cockpit. It's just a very impressive airplane. And I've always wanted to see one of these, you know, rendered in really high quality in flight sim since I, you know, started flying these back in FS2000, so it's awesome to finally see it here. Of the airplane is actually really good. It's just that I'm at 6,700 feet of elevation. Switch to this view and then look at gear animation, which looks really nice. Flight dynamics wise, the airplane is very responsive, as you can see. But that makes it a hoot to fly. You know, if you want to get into a tight strip, you can with a difficult approach. Even at, you know, 6,000 or 8,000 feet now, you do have a pretty good bit of power to pull off pretty, you know, decent maneuvers. We're maintaining in a tight turn, you know, about 1,000 feet a minute climb rate. And it's pretty good. But you're going to get that with pretty much any, you know, airplane that was basically designed to have piston engines, and then they slapped some turbines on it, kind of like with the Cheyenne 1 series, and then also with the, like the Cessna 425, you know, and even the King Air C90, because those were actually, you know, originally kind of designed as like the Queen Air with the piston engines. Anyway, the airplane looks absolutely beautiful in the air. And around here, everybody listen to the sounds. Reflections look really nice as well. I'm going to turn the sound off just so everybody can hear me. I'm going to go ahead and switch us over to nighttime and just have a quick look around the airplane then as well. Also, part of my lack of smoothness in my flying is I'm using my Warthog versus my GoFlight yoke for this, just because I've been playing IL-2 Stormavik and War Thunder a lot, and just didn't really feel like throwing my whole other setup back together just to take it back apart to go fly those. Alright, so the only thing that I'm not a big fan of with the airplane is kind of the lack of customizability in the night lighting. That's about it. That, and you can adjust the brightness of this, but you cannot turn the panel lights on and have these off, etc. So I'm not really a big fan of that. I will say the cabin lighting does look really nice. I'm not so much a fan of what Carenado's been doing recently with their panel lighting. I kind of prefer what they were doing in some of the earlier add-ons like the C90, just where it's kind of a brighter, better looking, almost like the interior is here, but with the panel. And that may just come down to being an airplane, the type of airplane. I've never flown a turbine commander, so I really don't know how it'd look at night. But overall, it's a great looking airplane. It performs great. I do definitely recommend the purchase. There are a couple little issues that I've kind of noticed. One is that on the exterior of the airplane at night, instead of kind of keeping some gloss to them, these just turn jet black, which doesn't look that great. And the night lighting customizability, and also the landing lights on this thing, really they kind of suck. Just because they don't have any forward showing out. Like, you actually have to be landed for them to do anything, and that they should be showing at least a little bit. You know, the terrain on final. I mean, like in my Blanca Super Viking, it has one landing light on the left wing, and it's a halogen light, and it's dim. But you can actually see the ground in front of you on final. With this, it's just, you're flying pretty much into pitch black, and that's just not that great. Go ahead and bring the props in there. Drop the gear and bring it in for a landing to show you guys that I'm talking about. I know that they've had that same issue on some of their other airplanes, like the C90 had it, etc. And I don't know if it's kind of like the sun visor thing, which this airplane does not have, so I can't complain about it. Just an issue that they don't want to fix, the issue they can't fix and keep their lighting system. I don't know what exactly the reason is for that, but I would like to see that addressed, just because it does kind of suck. And I'm making a really aggressive turn to final here, but I do have plenty of airspeed, as you can see, so don't really have to worry about getting into a spin there. One thing I've noticed is the airplane actually flies like it's yawed. So I don't know if that may just be kind of a perspective thing, but the airplane looks like it's yawing. And as you can see, once again, landing lights are on, but there they are. They're finally there. And that's just not very good. Not very useful. Ground handling this airplane is kind of actually a bear to handle. I'm using like full rudder inputs on it. Put in beta, let you hear that. That sounds pretty good as well. On the inside and the outside. They have incorporated the strobes that shine onto the ground there. I do wish that they would make the landing lights a little bit more useful. Right now, they are not. Other than that, those couple of concerns, I can't see anything wrong with the airplane. Overall, it's a great airplane. I definitely recommend it, especially if you do a lot of corporate flying, simulating that sort of stuff. It's a great airplane for that. Great avionics package. Even the default 530, will get you through, especially with the Avidyne unit. Overall, it's a great airplane. It seems like they've went to try to do quite a bit of systems in depth modeling, or at least you can click a switch and kind of go through the motions. But yeah, overall, great looking airplane, flies great, sounds great, and I'm sure that Carenado will address those couple little issues and get it working perfect. Alright folks, well I hope you've enjoyed it. I'll be doing a review of the Milviz Beaver coming up. Also the Carenado Cheyenne. I'm a little bit late on that. I just kind of wanted to push this review out first before I did that one, just because this airplane's newer and I think more people would probably be interested in seeing what this airplane has to offer versus a release from a couple months ago. Alright folks, I hope everyone has enjoyed. Have a good one.